Place. In the dark, unsettling world of Gertrude Atherton's Asterisk, the Striding Place Asterisk, a tale of eerie mystery unfolds, a narrative filled with psychological tension, inexplicable events, and the haunting power of memory. Originally published as Asterisk, the Twins Asterisk in 1896, and later republished in 1905 under its more fitting title, this story is a timeless exploration of fear, the supernatural, and the human psyche's deepest recesses. Atherton, an American author known for her ability to intertwine horror with complex emotional depth, creates a chilling atmosphere that lingers long after the final page is turned. The story begins innocuously enough with the arrival of a woman named Anne. She is drawn to a quaint, isolated house in a town where she has no particular ties, but her journey will reveal far more than a simple relocation. The house she inhabits, perched on the edge of a steep hill, known as Asterisk. The Striding Place Asterisk has a dark history. It stands as a mute witness to inexplicable phenomena. A place where nothing is as it seems, and where memories bleed into reality, haunting those who dare to enter. As the story unfolds, we see Anne's descent into psychological turmoil, the growing presence of a spectral force, and the strange occurrences that reveal disturbing truths about the house's past and her own family's history. This eerie narrative is not only an exploration of the supernatural, but also an intense examination of how past and present collide, how grief and guilt echo through time, and how the line between the living and the dead becomes perilously thin. Chapter 1. The Arrival. Anne Turner's arrival at the Striding Place was a curious one. The small town of Burley lay nestled between the hills, where the fog clung tightly to the earth like a heavy, suffocating veil. The locals, whom Anne had no reason to suspect were anything other than ordinary, seemed to carry with them an unspoken burden. She had heard of the house, of course, a curious place, spoken of in whispers, and often avoided altogether by those who lived in Burley. The house itself was as unsettling as its name. Situated on a sharp cliff, it seemed to be suspended in time. The wind, howling constantly, rattled its windows, and the stairs creaked as if the house itself were alive. But it wasn't the house that drew Anne. It was something much more sinister, the mysterious connection between her family and this strange abode. Anne had inherited the house from her late aunt, a woman who had always been a source of mystery. Her aunt had lived a life surrounded by whispers and gossip, with few visitors to her remote home. There were rumors, nothing concrete, but the kind that chills the spine. That Anne's aunt had suffered from bouts of madness. Some even claimed that she had seen things, heard voices that weren't there, and had spoken of a presence that would not leave her alone. Chapter 2. The First Night. A Haunting Discovery. As night fell on her first evening in the house, Anne felt an uneasy sense of being watched. The flickering of the candlelight seemed to distort the shadows, turning ordinary objects into grotesque figures. The wind outside howled, and every creak of the house seemed exaggerated in the silence that surrounded her. Anne made her way upstairs, drawn to her aunt's old study, a room that had always been kept locked. The door groaned in protest as it opened, revealing a space that had been preserved in time, with the air thick with dust and stale memories. The room was filled with oddities, old books, strange artifacts, and the lingering scent of her aunt's perfume. But what caught Anne's eye was an old portrait hanging on the far wall. The portrait was of two young girls, twins, dressed in identical white dresses. Their faces, though serene, held a certain eeriness, as if they knew something that the viewer could not understand. Anne felt a sudden, inexplicable shiver crawl up her spine. She knew those girls. One was her mother, the other a mystery. Chapter 3. The Haunting Presence, a tale of guilt and restless spirits. As the days passed, strange occurrences began to unfold. Objects would move when she wasn't looking, and Anne began hearing whispers in the halls, soft voices that she couldn't quite make out. They seemed to come from nowhere, just beyond the reach of her hearing, as though the house itself were trying to communicate with her. One evening, as the fog rolled in thick around the house, Anne was walking through the hallway when she saw a figure standing at the end of it. The figure was cloaked in shadow, its face obscured, yet Anne felt an overwhelming sense of familiarity. The figure did not move, but it seemed to watch her with an intensity that was suffocating. Desperate to understand, Anne turned to the old diaries of her aunt, which she had found in the study. They told of a tragic event, a drowning in the nearby river, the loss of her aunt's twin sister. It became clear that the house had once been home to two girls, twins who had been inseparable until one of them drowned. But there was more to the story. The drowning wasn't an accident, and the twin who survived, her aunt, had been consumed by guilt ever since. The diary spoke of strange occurrences in the house after the death. The surviving twin had believed that the spirit of her sister haunted the halls, unable to rest until her death was avenged. But there was a darker twist to the tale. Her aunt had begun seeing her twin again, alive and well, wandering the house and calling to her. Chapter 4: The Final Revelation. As Anne delved deeper into the mysteries of the house, the presence that haunted her grew stronger. She could no longer ignore the reality that the house was not merely a place of memory, it was a conduit for something far darker. The spirits of the dead were trapped within its walls, and the past was alive once more. On a stormy night, as Anne stood before the portrait of the twins, the house seemed to pulse with energy. The air grew thick, the temperature dropped, and the whispers turned into loud, frantic cries. Anne could hear them now, the voices of the two girls, calling to her, pleading for her to understand. In a moment of terrifying clarity, Anne realized that her aunt's twin sister was not truly gone. She had never left. The spirit of the drowned girl had been present all along, trapped in the house, waiting for her sister to join her. The final revelation struck Anne like a bolt of lightning. The presence she had felt watching her was not merely a ghost. It was the spirit of her own mother, who had been the twin to her aunt, now dead, but not at peace. The house, the striding place, was a prison for them both. Anne ran, unable to bear the suffocating presence of the house any longer. But as she fled, she realized that it was too late. The past had already claimed her, and she too would never escape. The haunting power of guilt, grief, and memory. In the end, Anne's escape was nothing more than an illusion. The story of the striding place is a powerful exploration of how guilt, grief, and memory shape the living. The house, standing as a testament to a forgotten tragedy, is not merely haunted by spirits, but by the unresolved emotions and secrets of those who once lived there. Anne's descent into madness reflects the power of the past, how it can reach out, drag us under, and ultimately consume us. The tale of the striding place is a chilling reminder that some places are more than just structures. They are living, breathing entities, filled with the echoes of those who cannot or will not let go. The spirits of the past and the memories they leave behind are always lurking, waiting to claim the next victim who dares to uncover their secrets. Join the conversation. Your support drives us. We hope you enjoyed this video. But here's a question. Why haven't you subscribed to our channel yet? Your one like and subscribe give us the motivation to create even more engaging videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts. Head to the comments section below and tell us, which part of the story gave you chills or made your heart race the most? Your feedback means the world to us. Thank you for your incredible support.